on right now in East Los Angeles? Well, looks like it's Ribbon Mike Mayhem again. Oh man. Well, if you're joining me, these are microphones. These are ribbon mics, and I'm cuckoo for ribbons. Um, I know I haven't done a lot of these. I was on a run for a while, and what happens is you should always think about what you wish for. So as I was doing a boatload of ribbons, a lot of people started hitting me up and sending me ribbons. So I have to somehow regulate myself to not be out there too much because I'm one man and I'm a producer and I'm an engineer and I record bands and I make a living mostly making records. So here I am. It's Sunday night. Obviously, I was here last night and it was a Saturday night. So what am I doing with my life? Why am I here on a Sunday working? But I have a mountain of ribbons to. I'm almost done. I'm finishing up the majority of the ones that have come in, and I just wanted to share with these. These are some cascades that I did. Cascades fatheads, which are known mostly as some of the best, my favorite lollipops. So, anyways, these are cascades. I re-ribbon these ones for a buddy of mine, and I'm excited to get these to him. So these were done. Fin, Fin. So yeah, I do other microphones. I do fatheads and 80s. I will say that I think there's something to be said about these head baskets. The MXLs. I mean, it's kind of a perfect storm. Even though they're not technically even the same shape, the air that goes around those head baskets are just, they sound really good, full, and awesome. So that's what I'm showing you today. Once again, some fatheads. These are going to be shipped out. Let me put them back. And if you're joining me, these are ribbon mics. What are ribbon mics? If you don't know, ribbon mics are probably one of the oldest, you could say, technology of microphones. The Wizard of Oz were recorded with, they call them skunks. Frank Sinatra, old movies, ribbon mics were, it's basically a ribbon, a magnet, and a transformer. I mean, it's kind of caveman, but that's the way it rolls all the way through the history of microphones. Only of recent, like, I mean, when I first started recording in the late 90s, actually, I've been recording for a long time, but I will say, first time I was aware of ribbon mics is with Steve Albini. He recorded my second record, this is about 1998, 99, and he used a Buyer 160. Now, I know Buyer 160s, at that time, it would have been like Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, and Buyer 160s are supercardioid. You point them at the sound source, like this would be pointing at the sound source, and that's where the sound comes in. These are figure eight, considered, here and here, the sound is coming in the front and the back. This is positive, this is negative. But, so just by accident, if you're part of my normal crew, you can probably go take a pee or something like that. You're going to hear the story. But I've been working on ribbon mics for about 4 to 5 years, and I've been recording as a producer for probably close to 25, maybe 30 years. I came across these microphones just by accident, and every time I got them, I could not believe in how good they sound. And they look like this. I mean, this is what they look like after I work on them. Hello, this is a green meanie. There you go. This one's done. So yeah, I'm basically, this microphone is what it looks like when you buy it. And after I upgraded it and changed the ribbon, it turns into one of these. I will say it's a perfect storm of a mic. I mean, it's really simple. They're just a magnet, a ribbon, and how wrong can you go? Well, even these coming out of China sound pretty fucking incredible. So I'm, maybe for the last few years, for my friends and producers in Los Angeles, I would do upgrades for them. And these are, I know I'm on YouTube right now and I'm talking to people around the world. I just did for my buddy Ryan in Guam. My friend Paul has a whole collection he sent to me from England. There's Joey's in England. A friend of mine's out in Vancouver. Toronto, the Midwest. I got a few Chazes from the East Coast that are all doing these microphones. Sam and Mary from Tacoma, Washington. So yeah, it's a crazy group of people that have come together over doing these ribbon mics. Now, what's the big deal? Okay, if you're not a recording engineer, or even if you are, we all know how much ribbons cost. Ribbon mics for, I would say, like 4 companies strongly. They're really expensive. They're up to $5,000, $5,500 for vintage ribbon, and even some of the new ones are still $4,500, $5,500. $5,500 for a ribbon, magnets, and a transformer. So it breaks down all the way down to smaller prices. The mics that are mostly, I would say, probably have the greatest reputation are Coles. A pair of Coles is about 3,500, maybe 3,000 if they're on sale. AEA has seven. No, they don't do 77s, but the what do they call it? Oh my god, I just zoned on the name. Anyways, they all their models, even the new ones. Probably the greatest ribbon mic on earth is a brand new mic called an R88, and that's by AEA. But they make an N22, an N8, an R84, a 74, and also these microphones are then considered in another category. So we got the highest quality mics are Buyers, it's Buyers, AEA, Royer, Coles. Those are top ribbon mic companies, you know. And then we have other boutique companies like Stager, and you know, it just goes down the list. I mean, thousands of ribbon mics are made with different companies. These ones in particular are made in China. Almost every ribbon mic you'll find right now on the market will come with this. This is inside it. This is a Chinese transducer or a motor. The magnets are glued into these side and the ribbon goes down the middle. These bolts hold the ribbon down. Every mic has one of these. Those first mics I showed you, the Cascades, that's what's inside the Cascades. That's what's inside Golden Age. Pinnacle is the new company that was Fatheads, and now I believe it's family owned by the same company. These are all made in China. So are these all created equal? Kind of. And they all come with the ribbon that comes out of China as well. That's honestly terrible. But you can win the lotto sometimes and you get a good one. So what I do, and I figured out when I have my own ribbon mic company, so I'm making my own model. And as I was making my own model, I came across these as I was trying to learn more about ribbon mics. Sorry, I'm tightening the foam stand. So as I was finding about ribbon mics, I used to do Apex 210s, 80s, you name it. I didn't even give a fuck. I just bring me a mic and what's up, Thomas? Bring me a mic and I'll do it. What's up, Tony? How you doing? Tony Aviation. So yeah, so I started doing these microphones just for helping out my buddies. And when I told them, I said, hey man, there's this mic you can buy for 99 bucks. These used to be actually like 75 bucks. You can buy these for 70, and these are producer dudes, like the dudes that spend thousands of dollars on microphones. And I said, listen, buy this mic for, 75 bucks or 99 bucks. I'll take it, I'll re-ribbon it, and I promise you it's going to sound as good or even better than your R84s, which are about $1,400 mics. But at the time, maybe they were a grand a while ago. So anyways, so I'm making a $99 mic sound like a $1,400 ribbon mic. And a lot of that has to do absolutely with the quality of the ribbon, the cut, the corrugation, and how you install it. That is the difference between all the really sick mic companies. And then, so the way it works is you go on Sweetwater, you buy this for, used to be 99 because of the times, now it's 112. Interesting. You buy these for 112, and before you buy them, you get my information from the description here. You can get my social media and my actual email. Hit me up. I'll give you my P.O. box because it's free shipping from Sweetwater. Don't do Amazon. Don't do Musician's Friend, because what happens is people go out and they buy them, and then as soon as you buy them, it says they're not available, and you got to wait a few weeks. I guarantee you, if you go to Sweetwater, I get these within like 2 days. So go to Sweetwater. First, you get my info, you get my PO box. It's $250 a mic, and that covers me corrugating it. And then also, once I get the mic sent to me for free, the cost of your $250, I send it back to you for free. I insure it for $112 for the microphone. I insure it for the cost of me upgrading it, and then I send it back to you. Now, with ribbon mics, they're really fragile and they could blow. If you get the mic, and let's say the first day and these don't have phantom power. Phantom power will blow these ribbons. If you literally, you take it out of the box and you accidentally fry it, and it's just an accident. You can send it back to me. It's $30 for the ribbon, and you cover the postage. So even if you have one of my mics after 2 years or something like that, and you're like, you know what, Manny, I'm going to send it in. Can you re-ribbon it? As long as it's been done by me and I've done it one time, it'll always be $30, and you can cover me the shipping. And the shipping will probably vary because of times for 2 years from now. Who knows what shipping is going to be, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, so this is what's going on here. So today, I'm going to make, I call these green meanies, but I'm going to make this mic into that mic. So give me 1 second. Whoa, don't want to lose that. Hold on a minute. Hold it now. Don't go anywhere, don't go anywhere. I'm still here. I'm at my recording studio in East Los. We have to do a little something here. Hold on a second. Apologize for the delay. Don't lose faith. I promise you, we're going to be doing some ribbon mic mayhem here. Alrighty. So you just saw me have an R144. That is the mic right there with the guts showing. And that is going to turn into one of these, which is what I just showed you, the green meanie. So I've got to put that all together. I've got a rat body. These bodies have names in them. We got it. So here I am. What is up, buddy? Chaz. See Chaz? Chaz is a dude. Chaz got some mics. He does. And so we're just doing some R144s today. Thank you, man. Dude, how was the R80? It's insane, right? Super thick. I did an R80 for him. This is a R144. They had another model that they made that it was supposedly used for, oh, dude, so sick. I know, right? When I make these ribbon mics louder by the ribbons, they really blow, I mean in a nice way, they blow up preamps. I mean, they make the mic sound really good and really alive. So I'm happy to hear that, Chad. That's awesome. And so, yeah, there's a rare mic out there called an R80, which is MXL, if you can find them. And really, really spectacular mics to work on. So I've got this mic. These two are going out from my friend Paul. And not the Paul from England, but another Paul. And he's been patient enough. So, like, I'm just getting to all these mics. I'm coming down to the wire now. The horn player was chipping. Oh, yeah, dude. You tell me, man, the fatheads are so... I just showed you a pair of fatheads that I was just using. And, man, I can't tell you enough about fatheads. The potential of fatheads. And if you... In the kind of food chain of ribbon mics, fatheads were always known as being some of the best ones. And I think a lot of it has to do with the head basket, and they just lucked out. Like the MXL, it was a perfect storm, I think, of a microphone. The only thing they lack is they have terrible ribbons. Even Pinnacles, Golden Age, they're all Chinese. And I'm not meaning it in a bad way because it's Chinese, because look at this whole thing. You can't get this made in America. It'd be a fortune to make this head basket. The reason I know, because I'm making my own ribbon mic, and the fear in the eyes of any guys trying to make things in the United States compared to what the Chinese can do. I'm embracing the fact that, that you can go over there and have anything made. Like this head basket cannot be, I mean, I went to a few shops in LA. I wasn't making this actual head basket, but the design of my new ribbon mic needed some metal work. And this, even in its simplistic, and it looks like, well, what's the big deal? It would cost you probably 100 grand to get the dies and all everything made to make this microphone. I mean, make this head basket only. Even the metalwork on this bracket, there's a few places in Los Angeles that can make all this. It would be about $10,000 just to even set this up. So what you get from these microphones is the Chinese have already done a lot of the hard work. And for the price point, that's why these ribbon mics work. And that's why Fatheads and other mics are, I think, out of all the designs, some of the perfect storms. So this is once again an MXL R144. It's brand new. And that's kind of the thing, you could find these honestly 30 bucks, 50 bucks at a pawn shop. Who knows? Like some people are probably giving them away. They're on no one's radar. But the reason I offer them and I tell people to go to Sweetwater is because they're brand new, and you can just buy it and you send it directly to me, free shipping, and then I upgrade it for 250 and I send it back to you, free shipping. For me personally, it's super easy to do that way. But if you want to go on the hunt, I'm gonna say from 20 bucks to probably, I wouldn't pay any if you're buying it used. I would pay no more than 60 for it. If you're locally in Los Angeles, maybe buy it for 75. But to the most part, if you buy them used, it could be missing the microphone clip. Maybe it doesn't come with the box. Um, Maybe something's damaged inside. I would just grab a brand new one, and they sound beautiful. I mean, they're almost as pretty as my eyes the way they sound. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest with you all. So you can see this too. The ribbon inside is almost like a hammock in there. That's just because I think when they install these ribbons, they don't really stretch them out. And I don't think the corrugation, even from feeling this, the corrugation really isn't that strong. It's almost like they get the ribbon, run it through a corrugator, they don't stretch it, they put it in here. And not only that, there's a gap between the ribbon that's massive. So let's say this is 5 millimeters. I think they cut the ribbons like 4 millimeters because it'll always fit. So they can cut a zillion ribbons. They don't have to measure them. They install them. They're going to fit because these mics go between like 4.9 to 5 millimeters to 5.5 millimeters. I've never found these more than 5.5 millimeters. So if they put a 4 millimeter cut and a 5.5 millimeter microphone, it's going to be low output. It may sound good, but it's not going to sound as good as me measuring it, doing it heavy. My corrugation is very much like a Royer. So I'm putting a resilient ribbon in there. It's thicker, 2.5, but after I've corrugated, it probably gets closer to 1.8, but now it's stronger. And then all these little points, these lines, because the one I do will be a lot more sharper, you're going to get more mids and highs out of it. So that's what's going on today. I know it sounds like I've had my coffee, but I haven't. So we're going to do my Pellegrino today. And I know I'm a Pellegrino whore, but you can buy me a coffee or Pellegrino whore. Underneath the description, you'll see a little thank you. You can buy me a coffee. You can buy me a Pellegrino. Even better, if you become a member, and I think I only have 8 members now or 7, I'm going to give you some exclusive content soon that's going to blow your mind. My ribbon mic, I'll be premiering it to only the members here. And I'll be doing a video on the actual ribbon mic and some cool content on some records that are coming up. So yeah, I got a lot coming up soon. Sounds like I'm busy, and I am. And like I said, of the last week, I have been working on about 3 albums. I just finished one last night. And beyond you guys seeing me here and doing stuff like this, I'm really slammed outside that with the studio. And I'm a producer, and I really do. And I'm making my own ribbon microphone. And I don't know if it's going to be ready to even show it at AES, which is going to be in Long Beach coming up. But I'll probably end up having it in my backpack, and probably Chaz, you'll probably be one of the first cats to see it. Hold on, let me get a drink of this Pellegrino. And Chaz, man, thank you for sharing that. I know you mentioned about going into that session, so I really wanted it to work out. Those, I mean, I know when I tested them, they're all fire, and I could tell how much the output of those microphones are better. So yeah, man, it's crazy. On a good cut of a ribbon is, I mean, it's the same thing as a capsule. You know, people talk about the difference in capsules, and yeah, there is a difference in how they're made and the care they. Whew, I just yawned. It's not that you're boring me. I went to bed late and I woke up early. I take my wife to work every day at 6 a.m. So when you see me leave here at like 12 or 1, I think I went to bed like at 1 last night. I was up early in the morning doing my deal. All right, so let's do what we got to do. So the bodies are greeny. We don't need to show you. I'll show you when I put it together. But right now we're gonna take a look at this and we're gonna get it all dolled up. Hey Chaz, man, get some rest, dude. I know you've been hopping around. You were like running around all week. Hey Jay, this is a MXL R144, and it's basically going to be turned into. Let me show you. It's going to be turned into this. So these are, you buy these and don't bump it right here. Hold on. So those are MXL 144s. You buy them. They used to be 99 bucks. Now they're 112. They look like this when you buy them. And that's the internals. And then when I get done with them, I call them green meanies. I make them green. And they have a new ribbon, like a royal ribbon, inside these. So, yeah, Big Jimmy. Or Big Jim. That's what I'm talking about. We got some ribbons going on. So these are stock. You buy these from Sweetwater. You get my P.O. box from my description. You can send me an email or message. You buy these for 99 bucks if they're on sale, or 112. And then when you get them back, I call them green meanies. They're green now. And they have a royal type ribbon inside. They're really durable and have a pretty badass sound. I mean, I've hooked up a lot of my friends with these. Hold on one second. Got some ribbon mics just floating around there. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Patience. They're falling down. I'm losing ribbon mics. Hold on. I think I lost a ribbon mic under here. Whew. All right. We're getting it together. Sorry about that. Got all these mics stacked around me and they're... Whew. All right, so back to the ribbon mic talk. So anyways, yeah, you buy these mics and I basically re-rib them. So this one's out of the factory. I haven't done anything except take off the metal casings and the cover for it. And we're about to do that now. Let's get my razor blades. Or your finger. If you hear me doing a little burp every now and then, I made smash burgers tonight for me and my wife. I gotta say, took me a while to perfect it, but I think I got it pretty good. Cooks are in my blood, in my family. Everybody in my family cooks really good. And when I was younger, I wasn't, I would try to cook burgers and stuff and never tasted good as the way my grandpa cooked. Even like steak. My grandfather used to make a steak that I'd be like, what is that? What I didn't know. It was all about the iron skillet. You know, and I could never cook on an iron skillet because I was like, fuck that shit. Everything sticks to it. So I found out the secret during the pandemic. You know, obviously everybody's eating at home. And me and my wife, I started buying Wagyu steaks. There's a local market, Pavilions by me, and for about 24 bucks, you can get a small Wagyu steak. My wife's Filipino, so she doesn't really believe in eating a lot. And even though I would protest against that, I'd be like, oh, fuck, man, I have small portions. But it was for health-wise, it's probably the best thing for me is not to eat like a normal American, just a massive meal. So with my wife there, I can't really overdo it. But if I make 2 small thin patties for the smash burgers, we do a double burger. But it probably equals a quarter pounder, realistically. But they're cut in half and it's like a squash. So anyways, um, so this is the inside of an MXL when you get it. Now, these screens that you see that are on the front, these are strictly not for sound. They're to keep the ribbon inside the magnets. And why would they want to do that? Because you can see right here, watch my finger. I don't know if you can see it roll through there. There it is. So when I blew on this, that means it's just not. I mean, if that was a guitar or a bass rig, you would see it now. It's just useless. It probably still sounds good because, once again, the screens are keeping it in. So if you had this mic and it was loose like that, it wouldn't be a big deal. It'd probably still sound pretty killer. But to get optimum sound, the ribbon's got to be right between the magnets, and that's what I'm going to do. Also, I think the corrugation could be better. I don't really like this right here. This is a little lazy because this can ground out to that plate and then this mic may not work. And this is just, I mean, I don't know. I would not have any of those things sticking like that because this is positive right here and this is negative. The negative is grounded, obviously not touching the positive. If this is grounded and gets like that, like it's sticking to it, the mic's not going to work. I'm just saying. So let's get started on doing this ribbon. And like I said, these mics, I've done mics for my friend Stella. She's in War Paint. She has a pair. I did some fatheads for my friend Gus. He's in Roger Waters' band. I just did, not just did, but about a year and a half ago, I did Elon from the Foo Fighters' new drummer. I did his ribbon mics. At the time, he was in Nine Inch Nails, and he's one of the sickest fucking local dudes on drums. But congratulations to him getting in the Foo Fighters. I did mics for him. Justin Mendel Johnson, who's in St. Vincent, who was in Nine Inch Nails at one time also. He's also a producer of Paramore. He has some mics. I've been to Daniel Lawaz. He sang out of this mic. I'm making one for him. So yeah, I mean, these are all serious cats that I make serious mics for. So it's not really, and I have a serious studio. I mean, my whole listen back system are ATCs with an inwards connection monitoring system. I have Neves, everything you would want that you would have in a studio, killer mics, old mics, new mics. So yeah, I'm not really some dude that just has a pair of Mackie speakers and a Mackie board and I'm check 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, sounds good. Like you can't fucking tell. You can tell a great mic on a great system because I think all great mics have a 3D sound. Once I've made these louder in these microphones, your sound source just goes right into your face. And that's why I really love ribbon mics. But you can see right now, you know, that's really loose when I can move that with my finger. That's not good. But like I said, if this was out of the factory and you have this screen and the screen's under it, it's never going to fall out of the transducer. So it's probably going to rock and you won't have any issues. But that's really not what we're doing here. If you get an R84 or a really high grade ribbon mic, you're not going to have these problems. So I'm trying to basically make this mic into a $1,400 mic. Basically trying to. And I think I've accomplished it. So let me get a better light game here. Hold on. I think I need one more drink of my Pellegrino. All right, Big Jim, we're getting ready to do this. I know it's gross to hear people drink, but fuck it. All this gapping I'm doing and talking, it makes you thirsty. And I don't really have a mic. I'm literally looking at my cell phone in front of my face. All right, so let's do this. Last night definitely told you some crazy stories if you even tuned in. I don't know if I have any crazy stories going on. Okay, I got a crazy story for you. So, this is an all girl band, but I don't think this problem should be looked upon as I'm saying it had anything to do with them being women. I'm just saying this is a story that happened in my studio with an all girl band. So this drummer comes up to me, not a drummer, she was kind of a local, I mean she was just everywhere. Every gig you go to, she was there, she knew everyone. Um really hip gal locally in the scene, and she approached me and said, "Hey, do you want to record my band?" And at the time, I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." It has nothing, once again, to do with the girls. I record indie bands, and I work with Kim Deal. I work with sick engineers, so I have no. There was no some man's world in my world. It's just like whatever. Let's do it. If you're a great fucking band, you're a great artist. I'm into it. Anyway, so she approaches me. Do I want to record a band? They booked me out for, and in those days it would be like a weekend, and I had tape, so it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a record in a weekend. I know that sounds insane now, with Pro Tools and all the time people do. All right, so really quick though, this is the ribbon that it came with. So this is what all your sound is doing. So when I feel this, it feels a little weird to me. It's just really, I don't know what it is about these. They feel kind of plasticky, but maybe it's high grade aluminum. But this tells you in how fast you can destroy a ribbon mic. There it is. That's the ribbon that fit inside of this microphone. That little speck. So we're gonna put a new little speck in there, and it'll be a full formed. So I'm recording this band, all girls, and they book a weekend. It's serious. They have to put a deposit down. We're like really gonna do it. And actually, I had seen them live, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great. So the first day we go in there, first days are always a bitch. We set up all the mics, we got the drum set up, everything's fucking good. I used to have my own drum set, and I still do. We're talking, this is like 2001, 2002. I got a weird shadow right there. So really quick too, what I'm gonna also do right now is I'm gonna clean the magnets, because I can see some particles there because it's a magnet. Any particles of metal from the screen, or I don't know when the factory was made, if there's pieces of metal that fly around, you have to clean the transducer when you're going to work on it, because you just want it to be no little pieces of metal that could fly around and ruin your ribbon. All right, back to the band. So they come in, the first day's a long day. It used to be longer in the old days. So they're setting up, and the girl that set up the gig isn't there. Okay, whatever. So then after 1 hour, 2 hours, about 6 hours go by, and everybody's in a little bit of a panic because they paid for a full day, and we're already through about 6 hours of the day, and the drummer's not there. And this is like, I mean, I think we had cell phones or whatever, but maybe it wasn't as we're used to now. I probably had like Blackberries, which were barely working. So they're trying to get a hold of her, and they can't. And then after maybe 6 hours, they get a call, and I see one of the girls' face kind of light up. Not bad, but almost like in shock. She's like, okay, all right, don't worry about it. I know, I'll be there right now. And she looks at the other girls, and the other girls are pissed. They've been waiting around all day. And she goes, listen, I gotta go. I gotta go pick her up. And they're kind of going like, why do you have to pick her up? She has a car. She says, and I don't think she wants to embarrass the drummer, but she takes all the girls into the next room and I can see them talking. And all their faces are kind of like, they're not making fun of the situation. They're just like really concerned. So they all walk in the room. The girl leaves to go pick up the drummer. And I'm thinking like, wow, I mean, what had happened? And none of them tell me what's up. And then after about 2 more hours, now we're like 8 hours, we're waiting around. And after the girl left to go help the drummer, she comes back alone without the drummer. And the other girls are like, "Where's so and so?" She's like, "Oh, she's driving. She'll be here soon." And then she looks at the other girls and she looks at me and she goes, "I'm so sorry about this." And she started like almost crying, laughing. She said, and I feel bad. The drummer had a car accident and had become addicted to pain pills. And in being people that, if you don't know, that have pain pill problems, it comes with constipation. And she was an ex junkie too. So heroin users, drug addicts, apparently there's some constipation things that'll happen with pain pills. And so this drummer couldn't go poop. She felt like she had to go poop. And she needed the girl to come down to her house because she finally went poop, and the poop was so big, it was like the size of a small baby. And the girl that came down there had to cut it up so it would go down the toilet before the drummer could leave the house. It was super gross, super crazy, super sad. But when she came back, she made the motion of what her arm looked like, and that's what the poop looked like. And I was like, oh my God. And this girl's totally little. And so after she told us, she goes, please don't say anything. So we were all just like, and I'm not making fun of it. We were just almost in shock, you know? Yeah. So she took a dump, and the other girl had to come down to cut up the poop to flush it. Because the other girl, I guess it was so traumatic that she had to lay down and she was like ready to pass out from the pain, I'm assuming. And so the drummer actually showed up not too long after. The session was already almost done in time, but I felt so bad about the whole situation. And she was cheery, in a good mood. And she said, just sorry about that to everyone. And everyone was just super respectful. And they went in and they tracked the whole record. And that was it. That was that was the story of, you got to come down here and cut up this poop or I'm not going down to the session. So anyways, I don't know if that's a crazy story or not. At the time, that was pretty fucking crazy. Holy shit. 38 minutes in, I don't even have a fucking ribbon cutting this. Son of a bitch. Hold on, I see some schnizzle manizzles in there. Let's clean this up. So this is literally a brand new mic right out of the factory. And once again, I mean, it may seem like I'm talking shit about these mics, but I think they're probably one of the perfect ribbons. I mean, it's like $99, and these fucking things rule. They're so good. Even if you buy them like the way that was, and you were to put it in front of a drum set, it would probably sound really great. But what you would lacking, I mean, that would be like 60% of its optimum performance. And once I put the ribbon in, it's 100%. And it's almost like getting an open-ended with the resilience of a Royer, but now you have kind of a Coles or a bigger, almost like a lollipop, you know? Yeah, man. She had a true holy shit. And I don't know what that's about, but there was years ago at downtown rehearsal, man, there was one time I had gone into the restroom. I'm not even lying. It was about the size of a small baby too, in the toilet. I cannot believe how that came out of a body, but it did, and it's just gross. We're talking about fucking shit. Who started this conversation about shit? It's like one of those things where I'm alone at my studio talking about this, and I'm the one. I can't blame it on anyone. Big Jim, I can't blame it on you. You're just, I'm just a messenger. That's all I am. All right, so now we have to measure the gap. If my friend Paul was from here from England, okay, so here's, if anybody's watching this, this is the deal. We'll see who gets it. Usually the gap between the magnets is about 4.9 to 5 millimeters, up to 5.5 millimeters. If anybody wants to make a guess what this is, there is no prize, but someday maybe there will be a prize, but not today. So I have to figure out, is that 5 millimeter, 4.9 millimeters, or 5.5 millimeters, or 525? I'm going to say 510. That's what I'm putting my money on. What do you guys think? This is the gap between these two magnets where the ribbon is going to sit. It's called the gap. So I have to figure out what the gap is to cut my ribbon. I'm saying 510. Anybody else there got to take a drink and let me know what you're thinking? All right. Not really seeing anything going on here, but we're going to go for this. We'll find out right now. All right, so let's see what the gap is. That's our first attempt. Well, obviously it's smaller here to get bigger there. So 510 to 49. Let me make sure that's right. Oh, I'm wrong. I mean, that happens. That's when I made my own ribbon mic. I didn't want that to ever happen. So, once again, I learned a lot from working on ribbon mics, and the consistency of that gap really bothers me. And that's why it takes a little bit of time for me to do this, because I can't really just go, oh, I'm doing an MXL 144, and I get the gap. I can cut the ribbons before I even work on the mic because they're consistent. Like if I did a lot of Royers or AEA, I'm pretty positive the gap's going to never change. Some of that is in the design of the mic, and I'm putting a ribbon in a ribbon mic, and this is 847 Global's inquiring. So I want to just show you something. So this, I already mentioned about this being pretty massive. So that's about 510, the gap. And as it moves down, now it's tight. So when I told you about this measuring about 510 millimeters, and this is 4.9. So in the 510, that's loose. And as I slide it down, you can't get it, it's stuck. So this won't go all the way down to the end. Yeah, it won't fit in there. As opposed to it fits here. So when I measured it and you saw me measuring it, like what's going on, that is the inconsistency and why when I cut these ribbons, I have to be aware of how I'm cutting them. That whole thing. And that's why, these are $112 mics. I mean, I don't know if these are CNC'd or hand cut, but there's always a gap. You can almost see it. Like it goes from big to small right there visually. And then obviously when I measured it out, and I have to measure it to cut the ribbon, and I can cut the ribbon in somewhat that way, where I go a little bit bigger on one side and then to the smaller side. So once again, this is, let me see what this gap is right here. All right, so that's about, I'm squeezing a little bit. So let's say 510 is this gap. Let's say 5.5. And, so this is what I measured. It's 510. So that goes in there 510. And as I slide it down, it jams right there. So this ribbon mic is obviously larger on this end and smaller on this end. And if you look at it, you can maybe, I don't know if the camera will do justice, but you can kind of see that. It's a little bit bigger on this end right here, and then it gets smaller there. So when I cut the ribbon, that's what I'm gonna have to do it. And that's why when I cut these and I make them custom, they kind of are custom because each ribbon has to be cut to the actual dimensions of the mic. So let's get ready to cut this ribbon, do the process. And like I said, these are the mics that you buy for 99 bucks, or now they're 112. You get my P.O. box from the description, or my email, or any of my social media. You write me and you say, hey Manny, I would like one of those mics. They're $250 a mic, each mic. And if you buy them on Sweetwater, they're 112, free shipping anywhere in the US. So even if you live in Germany, you can buy them from Sweetwater, ship it to me for free. Of course, the shipping will probably be somewhere between 60 to 80, maybe 100 bucks. But to the most part, you get it shipped from me for free, and then I rebuild it. So give me 1 second to get ready to do the cutting of the ribbon. So let's see, 410, 490. All right, so these are sheets of foil that I buy. So when I showed you the ribbon mic that I was going to do, this is what it looks like. The foil's inside this and the paper protects it because you saw me, let me see if I have something I can do here. No, let me see if I have one in here. Hold on. No, I think all my ribbons are destroyed. I was going to show you a ribbon, what it looks like in its natural state, but I think I've already destroyed all them. So we're going to cut this, and I'm going to put that in the ribbon. Put that in the ribbon mic. All right. What's up, Stu? Hello. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. If you watch this, this is definitely not some exciting shit, but if you like microphones or ribbon mics, this is exciting. I learned how to do these from watching a YouTube video by my friend Ulf, ULF. So if you want to check out something that has a cool page, my friend Ulf has a page. It's called Hobo Rec, like a hobo bum, Hobo, and then REC, like recording. He made a video, and I saw this pre-pandemic, called How to Make a Ribbon Mic, and it really blew my mind. At that point, I didn't even like solder an XLR. I just wasn't interested in doing any kind of tech work. I wasn't interested in building a tube mic, but I was a fan of ribbons. And something about when he did that video that really tripped me out. So I don't know Ulf. He's just some dude that lives in Sweden, made this video. It affected my life. I went out and ordered all the stuff to make ribbons. I started making my ribbons, and I was kind of like a knucklehead. My first ribbon I made was for a Buyer 160, which is fucking super difficult ribbon to make. So I started doing all my friends' Buyers 160, and crazy enough, I ended up becoming friends with Ulf. And when he comes out to Los Angeles, we go have breakfast at Nick's Cafe. He's vegan, so they got a good vegan burrito there. He loves it. And he's become a good friend, and he thinks I'm fucking insane that now I even have my own. He actually made a ribbon mic that was out like of a guitar pedal box. It was so fucking cool. So yeah, I mean, the motivation of seeing him make stuff. So I always feel like when I do these, maybe somewhere down the road, someone will see this and start doing ribbons. And then, maybe in 5 years, they'll say, hey, Manny. And they'll show me a mic they made, and I'll be like fucking insane. I'll be like, oh, dude, how'd you do that? That looks like some black magic shit. And I'll be like, Manny, your black magic shit fucking did it. I get this right. I'm actually going to try to get this smaller to wider on one side to see if I can match the ribbon to the magnet. It's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to see. It's possible. It's possible. No, sorry, man. You catch my drift, motherfuckers? Women watching this. I looked at my statistics or stats, and everyone's like fucking 34 to like 71. No chicks. But there is Mary and her husband, Sam. They tune in as well. I think Mary may be the only female that tunes in to this. And it's not like I'm doing this for chicks. I'm fucking married. I'm just saying, ribbon mics are not exciting. No one's showing their tits. There's nothing fucking crazy going on. And like I said, there's some guy in Pakistani right now that has a axle that broke in half, and he's gonna solder it. He's gonna weld it together and cut it with hand tools and chains. And he walks around barefoot, and doesn't even use fucking eye protection. He's gonna solder that shit. That's exciting. So if you're running around YouTube looking for something cool, that's fucking cool. This, it's okay. So I gotta find the ribbon that I make my cuts with. I know it's scary putting razor blades in your hands, but what am I gonna fucking do? Shit. This. I twitched and it just fucking sliced and diced. But I got man hands. They're a little bit calloused. There it is. I think that's the one. It possibly is a candidate. Is this the candidate? Yeah, I think that's the one right there. So let me not cut a finger here. Hold on. Runner up. Pretty positive. This is my mang. Let's cut this motherfucker. I'm always weird about it. I did all that time to set it up, but I don't like the way my hand, it's weird muscle memory how I'm going to cut this. It's got to be like the right angle. Let me make sure there's nothing on the fucking table. I don't do drugs, so get your mind out of the gutter. But I was watching this video, and they said that that movie Popeye with Robin Williams, they asked the guy about that movie, and he says it was all about fucking blow. He says that Robin Williams or the crew would, I guess when they do testings after they shoot the day, they send the videos back for the movie companies to see, like, I don't know if it was weekly or daily, but when they would send the film cans back and they would come back empty, they would fill them with Coke and bring them back to the set of Popeye. So it's worth watching Popeye to see them all moving in fast motion, but technically it was because of fucking blow. All right, so let me do this. Let me get my brain on. Hold on. All right, give me 1 second here. I didn't go all the way down. Fucking shit. Alright, well, it's not really my thing, but let's do this. That's how intense it is when I cut it. I'm just like, oy. Because, you know, I can't, once you start making that cut, you can't really stop because you can't have a jagged or loose point on the ribbon. So this is a corrugator that I'm going to use. They sell these all over the internet. They're probably super cheap. But I call them cogs, the gears. I made these ones myself. That's why they're a little bit different, and they're not even the same shape as these ones. These are the ones that it comes with, and these are the ones I made. There was this, when I made my first prototype, luckily enough, there's a place in LA which sells airplane parts and really crazy machinery stuff, and I got a bunch of gears, and I found out that they fit this, and I was able to tension it by how tight they were crushing here. So if you notice, which only a few guys have ever noticed this, whenever people cut ribbons, you'll see them cut it with the paper, like that. They get the paper and the ribbon, they put it in there so the ribbon doesn't get damaged. I don't do that. I made these gears like royers, and it's massive pressure crushing the ribbon, but I've also filed these down enough where they're not going to break the ribbon. So that is a weird technique, and my friend's like, what are you going to tell people that? I say, it doesn't fucking matter. If you want to practice cutting ribbons without paper, they're expensive. It's like $100 a sheet. If you want to get it and you want to practice it so you don't waste ribbons and you can cut them without breaking them, fuck yeah. You know, but just make sure when you're going to do that, you really know what you're doing. And I don't mean like you know what you're doing like I'm a fucking badass. I'm just saying like it's fucking expensive. And don't fucking cry if you start going through your ribbons and tearing them up. Ribbon out of that paper to corrugate it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a time to drink a little bit of Pellegrino. If you want to help me, you can subscribe. You can actually become part of my crew and become a member. And I have some content coming up where I'm only going to show people that are members. Not like I'm throwing it back in your face. I'm just saying the crew, I know everybody that's a member. It's Paul, Joey, Chaz. You know, I know everybody's fucking name. They all joined me here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I rip this paper from the sheet. Hold on. I mean paper from the sheet. Foil from the paper. Oh, man. And when you handle foil, like I say, you know, what I'm doing here, it isn't fucking special. It's not crazy. Man, I do think I got a knack. I mean, if there is a such thing as a ribbon whisperer, that's me. You know, that guy that handles chihuahuas and shit, and they obey him. I can make foil obey me sometimes. But I do make a prey to the ribbon gods every time I do this. And when I've talked bad to the ribbon gods, I've been, fuck this shit. Somehow the ribbon gets fucked up. So I've got a lot of respect for the art of doing this. And that's why I really love this. I'm usually dripping balls on something. I'm trying to fucking make sure that if I'm going to talk all this shit about ribbons, that they're not going to fucking tear when I go to show you them or how I'm going to do them. But separating it from the paper is a fucking trick. Yeah, you know, I think... And like I said, I think other people can do this. I mean, I will say this. Nowhere on YouTube I've seen, at least of recent, anybody do not re-ribbon a Coles microphone, because that ribbon in that Coles is 0.6, which the ribbon I'm doing today is 2.5. That tells you how thin it is. It took me 2 years to learn how to do that. I've done probably 3 or 4 Coles. I've done Buyer 160s, BK5s. I'm the only fucking guy that's ever showed tutorials Or, and it's not even mean to show off. I just have friends that give me microphones and I got to re-ribbon them. I had to learn how to re-ribbon them. And a lot of this too is, man, if you can take away anything I've done and you want to do this yourself, if you watch any of my videos, most of the time I'm pretty transparent about everything. You know, yeah, it's a fucking son of a bitch. And look, when I first started doing this, no one told me shit. I know all the guys that work at fucking every fucking great ribbon microphone company because I was part of Produce Like a Pro and I would do videos for them and I would talk with them. When I ended up wanting to make my own ribbon mic, I could not get any information except for Ulf. Ulf was the first motherfucker to build a mic in front of me. And I was just like, holy shit, I want to do that. And then I did that. And I remember when I went and bought all these parts. So if you look at I said this last night, but if you look at the first video I ever made here on YouTube, that was a demo of my prototype ribbon mic. And what happened was, is after I made that demo, I thought I was a real badass. The mic sounded incredible. I mean, fucking talk about knocking something out of the ballpark. I got it. I did it. But all the little things I didn't know are some of the things with sound chambers, all these acoustical things that have to happen around the ribbon I didn't know. So when I did my first prototype, I was just like, oh, I'm a badass. And then after I did it, I used it on a small, my Chavez, if you hear the Chavez Ravine, that's the band that opens up the Manny's mic locker on some of the videos I have. That's my own band. And that's a small amp like Jimmy Page, and I get a massive sound. But when I put it on a Marshall, because I was like, oh, I'm a badass, the Marshall destroyed the mic. And I don't mean to destroy the ribbon. It's acoustically, that ribbon, because I made it out of some Home Depot metal and all this airplane parts and shit. It was like, I think it was like 110 parts I made this one mic. It looked like a dog's head. It was so cool. But it couldn't be made into something I could sell or share because acoustically I didn't know enough. Hold on. So I'm gonna stretch the ribbon now. This is important. I can feel it. And this is gonna keep it a lot more. When you go to use the mic now, it's already gonna be stretched out. I'll stretch it out a little bit more when I install it. But yeah, man. So like, and I'm just being honest with you. I thought I was a badass. And then when I put it on a Marshall rig, the Marshall destroyed the mic. It sounded hollow. The sound went all the way around the ribbon. I didn't understand anything about the loudness factor of how that is affected by a ribbon mic. So I had two buddies that were going to partner up with me after they heard my prototype. And I just told them, hey, dudes, I think we're going to have to take a chill pill. Even though I'm a producer for like 23 years or 20 years at that point, and I'm a badass. I'm pretty good. I felt like I didn't know enough about ribbon mics. So at that point, I started working on every ribbon mic I could find. And that's how I came across these. But that's how I came across working on BK5s, RCA 74 Juniors. I mean, every AEA mic I've done. Royers, Coles, Buyers. I do Buyers 160s, Buyer 130s, Buyer 260s, Buyer 500s. They're all ribbons. And I learned a lot from all of them. So finally, when I finally got a grasp on that, and especially BK5s and supercardioid sounds, I decided then to go through manufacturing my own mic. So I started last year. I brought on my buddy Keith. He's fucking sick, and he just bull by the horns, man. He made it happen where I actually don't have in my possession the prototype, but he has it in pieces, and I'm going to put it together next week and then start testing it. We got 3 of them, and the super cardio, they're not like this. So if anybody thinks I'm just trying to rip off this, no, I had a specific mic that I wanted to be the best goddamn fucking guitar ribbon mic you can buy. So that's kind of my whole my motto to schmotto. So let's do this, motherfucker. Because I'm already fucking 65 minutes in this and I haven't even put the ribbon in it. What the fuck? I need a drink. All this gapping. And it's fucking crazy. I'm sitting here talking to myself. So let's do it. As they say in France, let's do it, motherfuckers. You know what I haven't had lately is pizza. I like pizza. But that girl, huh? You never know. It's possible. It's possible. All right. Right. All right. Let's get this ribbon into the mic. I think I've got the idea on the thinnest to the biggest. Fuck shit. Holy moly. Now that looks beautiful. I don't know if this is going to be a one and done. I usually get this one and done. But if you watch me do this, there's way more to it than just looking at this right now. I've got to get this dialed in. So that is thin piece of foil. I've made it into a ribbon. I've corrugated it without paper. It's fucking pretty hardcore. It's pretty much like a Royer ribbon. And now I've installed it in this $100 microphone. And then when I get done with it, it's going to sound like a $1,200 microphone. That's what I'm doing. That's my schnizzle and my nizzle. So I'm just flattening this out because this has to be where I put the plate. I don't think it's straight. If that's straight, hold on. That's good. I'm not too worried about this bottom part, but I do got to lock in the top part. That long thing hanging out there, that's going to bother me. I don't want to tear it off yet because I may need it. Let me get my light game going on here. All right, like that. So this fucking tail hanging down there, that ruins many mics. But I don't want to cut it yet because sometimes when I've damaged the ribbon over here, I could possibly still use that. You know what I'm saying, man? Catch my drift, motherfucker? You capiche? What I'm fucking talking about? Round. Fucking screwdriver, Jesus. Oh my god, where'd it go? Let me see it. I see you. I don't want to tighten this all the way down because I still need to move that. If I tighten it down, it's going to clamp on the ribbon. And if I move it, it's going to fuck my shit up. So I'm going to make sure I get this in first. Screaming for these screws to fly in the middle and ruin the ribbon, so you have to be careful. That's why I hold it with my finger. I'm gonna do it little by little. So that's tight. This is the ground. It's tight. And you don't want to do one side tighter than the other first because it can bow up that plastic. and the ribbon won't be locked in, and eventually it'll come loose. So you just got to do that really tight. I do like the way that looks. Now this is kind of crooked, so I need to address that. This is the part that's always scary. I'll point it down because I want the alcohol to run away from, I don't want it to go into the middle of the ribbon. Oh, I didn't like that. That's why I didn't want that to happen. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna fucking do this here. Hold on. So that's my ribbon. And let's see if it feels the same as theirs. Yeah, I guess it's the same. MXL probably uses the same. Yeah, feels the same. So at least the MXL, they use a bit high quality ribbon or a foil. They used to have a weird foil that almost looked like it was faded. There was a chemical reaction within the box of the mics. I used to fade the ribbons. It used to freak me out. Like, how does that fade? But I think it was the impurities in the metal. These I don't have any problems with. All right, so let me make sure I got a good tension on this. That looks good. Let me just make sure I get in the middle. Ah, you fucking. And every time I pull it tight, I just kind of pull it over the edge and crease it. Kind of locks it in. No, it's not. Son of a bitch. It's too close to the right. I gotta get as close as I can to the middle. It's a little bit too close to the right. Like parking a trailer. You move it right and it goes left. I think I just did it. That's the difficult part. All right, I like that. Now that's a beautiful ribbon. So that's what my ribbon looks like installed. This thing is going to be about 3 to 5 dBs louder than the original one that came with it. The ribbon, if you see me moving around, it's resilient. It's not going to break that easy. I corrugated this without paper. And that basically means my gears crushed it to have its little points, which have more high end and more mids and more detail. So yeah, sounds like I know what I'm doing, right? Mm-hmm. Don't answer that question. So it's not over yet. Put this other motherfucking clamp on it, and I could always fuck it up. Hey Samuel. Yeah, I'm upgrading a ribbon mic. These are brand new MXL R144s. that are like 99 bucks or 100 bucks from Sweetwater. I have my friends and people I meet here, they buy them. You get my information in my description. You get my P.O. box. They send them to me for free. And then for $250, I upgrade them and I put a high quality ribbon that's like a Royer ribbon and a $100 mic. And really, a Royer is basically the same thing. It has the same style, magnet, except this mic cost you $112, not $1,400. So I've been doing this for about 4 years, and I really care about care about mics. And I'm doing these videos not because I don't own this mic. People have sent them to me, and I'm getting my back orders down now, so that's why I'm even doing videos again. When you see me not do videos, I'm just overwhelmed. I mean, I got so many mics to do. I had a mic collection come in from England, my friend Paul. He sent me like 12, 14, maybe 16 mics. And they take about 4 hours a piece. So if you do the math on just that, that's a lot of hours to take to get it done. And I care about it. So I have a professional studio. I make sick records. And when I test these mics, they're tested through ATCs, Neves, APIs, the whole bang. They're taken very serious. So I can hear the quality. And I know actually when I test this mic too, if I test this mic and I'm putting it through my ATCs and it doesn't sound right, I can hear it. And I'll go in and I'll re-ribbon it. If you watch some of my videos, you see me do mics 2 times. When I've done Coles, I think those are taking me like 3 times, 4 to get it right. But you know. Yeah, man, thank you. And you know, when I was looking for information on ribbon mics, there was one guy, man, and he would get close to showing you everything about a ribbon mic. And I don't know what happened to him, but it was like all his videos were like 5 years old. And and so that's when I was looking at him like about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And he was doing these really cool videos on rebuilding stuff and using Bakelite to make sound chambers for ribbons. And it was really spectacular to watch him rebuilding, repainting, and redoing mics. And that's not really my thing. There's a guy not locally, in Nashville named Coles. He's a badass. And his thing is like not only is he a wicked musician, but he rebuilt. I mean, if you have an RCA that literally you ran over with your truck, it's all fucked up. You could send it to him, and he has all the parts, or can rebuild it for you. That's just something. It's not like I wouldn't like to do that, but in my life, being a producer here in Los Angeles, I just don't have time to dedicate my life to reconstructing and building parts for mics. I love these because these are quick turnarounds. You buy these at Sweetwater, they're 112 bucks. When I get done with the mics, it sounds like a like $800 to $1,400 ribbon mic. And that's just because, I've learned how to do that. When you see me cut these ribbons and, these sheets are like, the larger ones are like $100 for just the ribbon sheets. So it's an investment, but also being in Los Angeles, I have a lot of friends. Like I mentioned, the new Foo Fighters drummer, Elon, he's got 2 of my Buyer 160s I did for him. Some other people, there's a local badass studio called Ship Studios. My friend Aaron Espinosa has maybe 10 of my ribbons. He has some 160s, some 500s. Nick Lene and my friend Adam Greenspan, who did Idols, they swear by my guitar mic, and they did all the records, and every time they go do a record, they have the Manny OGMC, that green mic that this will turn into. That's what they have. And so yeah, I mean, I care. I mean, and then right now, earlier, Chaz, who I just did there's another MXL called an R80. It's really hard to find. I'm not even lying, it's on no one's radar. But if you get one of those, um they sound fucking. It was their version of trying to make an N22 by AEA, almost identical inside, but they sound fucking sick. They're dark, but they have a really thick foam, and they're made for high sound pressure. And so he does horns and sax, and does jazz bands and stuff. So he just wrote in earlier today that he just got his, and that he used it today, and he was giving me a nice review of that. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm at the mercy of everyone else. I can only do this so much, and if you take it and use it and you love it, I love it when you tell me that it's a success, because that's what I'm trying to get out of these microphones. Is just Do you have fucking $3,500 for a pair of Coles? I don't. So if you buy these mics for 112, you pay me 250 a mic. Let's say you're into the mic like 700 bucks and you got two of them. There isn't a mic on the market that you can buy that's as good for anything around 700. And the argument would be like, well, what about if you get a Golden Age, or what if you get two Cascades? Yeah, you know what? They're Chinese microphones. They're made in China. They have the same ribbon as the MXL, and they all have the same transducers. This transducers in Golden Age, this is what the same thing that's there. This is in Golden Age. This is in Cascade. This is in Pinnacle. This is in almost every ribbon that comes out of China. They have the same style, and the ribbons are from China. And what I do is I just get them. I'm a guy that lives in East LA, and I put the time and the craftsmanship of the same thing that would be in the ribbon department of Kohl's, same thing in the ribbon department of AEA, and the same thing in the ribbon department of Royer. And those ribbon departments are fucking serious. I talk to Royer all the time. The tolerances that they have are really strict. Royer weighs the ribbon. So that ribbon right there, if they weigh it on a scale and it's too much, it's rejected. Even though you see the little end, it has to be, doesn't matter the thickness, it's got to be the same weight. I mean, that's how consistent they are. And that's a really cool thing. So when I'm designing my microphone, I'll see if anywhere in my world I can get that kind of, quality that I can tell you that, hey, every ribbon is weighed and every ribbon is consistent and my gap never fucking changes. So that's why I make these custom ribbons, because the gap changes. This one was 4.9 and it's about 5.10 on this side. So I cut my ribbon where it was fatter on this side and smaller on that side. I know it's weird, but I believe in that. And that's what I do. Holy moly, how long have we been on now? 82 minutes. Holy fucking Christ. I'm just being theatrical right now. I like doing this. Hold on, let me get a drink of my Pellegrino. I'm a Pellegrino whore. If you want to send a thanks to me, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Under the description, there's usually a thank you icon. You can buy me a coffee. You could be, if you want to become a member, that's even better, because I'm going to do exclusive videos for you. But Samuel, thanks for even tuning in if you're still there. Oh man. All right, so I'm going to put one tape on because it's the same on both sides. And right now it's a Sunday night. It's about 11 o'clock. I told my wife I'd be back soon, and I'm not. But, story of all our lives that are dudes. Like if I'm watching sports or watching a UFC fight, I'll be home. Sure you are, and I'm the same way here with ribbon mics. So I'm going to put the tape on. Put the camera here. Sorry about the camera moving. This is not one of those fancy talking heads on YouTube where I'm trying to sell you a fucking plug-in or something, or say your drums don't sound good. Check this compressor with these samples. Oh, fuck yeah, sure. I can't stand that shit. Put a real fucking drum set up. If you watch some of my videos, you'll see a real drum set. There's no fucking samples on that shit. But that's the game. That's what the game is. Let's make it as easy as possible for you. But I love engineering. I'm just making that straight. I love engineering. I love making a drum set sound fucking sick. You know what I'm trying, man? If you watch some of my older videos, you'll see some drum sets. So I'm going to do the tape now for it. This is one of those self-healing black magic boards where if you cut it with a razor blade, it heals up. So I'm going to get my razor blade that I'm going to cut this with. These are an inch, 2-inch marks. The ribbons in these mics are 2 inches. So I can already tell you where the 2-inch mark is, and I'm following protocol with that. That's 2 inches right there. And I say all right a lot. And I say F-bombs a lot too. If you don't know, I'm 60 fucking years old. What the fuck am I doing here on a Sunday night? That's what I ask myself. Who fucking cares, right? Well, I guess I do. I put the word out there, I can fix your fucking mic, and they send me the mics, and I gotta fix them. I make them sound badass. So, if there's anyone to blame for this overwhelming demand of ribbon mics that you should always think about what you wish for. I went live and went, hey, does anybody want to send the mics in? This is what I'm going to do. And they sent their mics in. And now I'm fixing them up, making them sound badass. And I do get some really pleasant feedback. Even tonight, earlier in the messages, Chaz was in San Francisco. And then he was up in Northern California on yesterday. And now he's back on the East Coast doing a session. I mean, what a motherfucker. That guy's working. So I was only going to do one side, but I can't. I got to do both. Jesus Christ. So once again, these screens aren't for sound. They're strictly to keep the ribbon inside. So even if this ribbon that I made stretches out a little bit, it's still fine. Still sounds good. This tape is just regular packaging tape. It's the same kind the Chinese ones use, and I gotta say, no complaints, man. This stuff is sticky for a long time, so it's about longevity here. So that's why I always clean it and make sure that it's nice, so I don't want the screen to ever come off. And I get a lot of mics sometimes that are a little bit older that the tape fails because they don't use a lot. Like Nadies have this is probably a ½ inch. Nadies are like 1/4 of an inch they put on that, and after a while that shit just fucking goes bad. All right. Basket on. And these only go on one way. There's a little notch right there, and that'll be the front. And if you see inside there, there's a little CNC machined out little mark there. That's the same as that. So that will always tell me this is the front of the mic. The front of the mic is technically positive, and the rear of the mic is negative. Now this is a weird thing. Every golden age I've done, the polarity is the other way around, which I think is a mistake. I don't think they know that. So whatever they show the badge and everything, it's supposed to be the front of the mic. It's negative. The only bummer of that is if you're using a golden age as a mono overhead, I don't give a fuck what you do. It's never going to be in phase with their kick drum because it's reversed. So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a bummer that even modern new companies, they don't check their mics. When I test these mics, I check them if they're... Hold on, babe. Fucking, what is going on here? What is that going in there? Well, let's just do this one. Let's see. I don't talk about that too much because I don't do too many golden ages, but if you get a golden age and you have it, you may want to test it for the polarity. Device you can get, they have XLR testers and shit. You can just test it and see if it's positive. If it's wrong, you can flip it. The wires that come out of the microphone, one's positive and one's negative. You can just find somewhere in the line and switch them. Or down at the after the transformer. I mean, there's a bunch of places you can probably go inside and switch the polarity, or just make a note of it, and every time you put it into your preamp, you flip it. Yep. Absolutely, man. Quality control is the secret. So, you know, if I wasn't doing these microphones, that's what made me really be sensitive to the polarity. This is, so on the front of the mic, this is always positive, and this is always negative. And this is the null part of the mic. So like if you're Elvis Presley and you're recording a rockabilly band and Elvis is singing here, if a guitar player is really loud, you'd put him over here, or over here, where you kind of blend them, and you'd be able to mix a band. If the bass guitar is thunderous and you want more bass, you would have the vocal here and the bass guitar there. And if the drummer's blasting it, you could just move them around. So one microphone, you can record a whole band with and move everyone around the front and the back of this to make a cool Buddy Holly recording. That's what's beautiful about River mics. Give me 1 second, I have to get the body. Hold it now. Oy. Right. So we're gonna put the body on this. That even has a notch for the front. Thing. There it is. That one's matching with his brother or sister. There you go. That is an upgrade that's pretty sick. When you buy them, they look like this. MXL brand new. And then I custom paint them. My favorite green. And they're primered. Has like some auto body paint that I had. And yeah, I love it. this is what I do. I have some mics coming up tomorrow. I believe tomorrow is going to be a Buyer 230. Not my favorite to work on. It's fucking difficult, son of a bitch. But that one should be pretty interesting. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. If you guys want to, you can support me by subscribing. Even more, you can buy me a cup of coffee. You can buy me a Pellegrino with the thank you icon. If you want to get a mic, these are brand new from Sweetwater for a little bit over $100. And I'm $250 a mic. You can get my P.O. box from the description. And you basically get my P.O. box, go to Sweetwater, you buy it for $100, buy a pair hopefully, and put in my P.O. box so you have free shipping to me. Then once I get them, it's $250 a mic, and I'll ship them back to you for free. And that's it. So, and I also cover the insurance of the microphone and cover the insurance of the upgrade. These are sick. If you're really serious about recording, I can't say anything more about these mics as they're a perfect storm. They're built insane. I've even talked to MXLs telling them that they're really close to making one of the greatest ribbon mics under $500. But for right now, it's our secret. Hopefully you guys will grab some of these. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. I'll be on tomorrow again. I appreciate you tuning in.